Hello, and welcome back to Siah Chattin podcast. If you guys don't know me, and if you guys are new, my name is Messiah Dixon on all social media platforms, and welcome. Yes, God. And y'all, we gonna get straight into it because I'm feeling like chatting today. Do you understand me? This topic is a little bit more personal for me. You understand me? And obviously, I want to be able to give you guys advice and give you guys my knowledge based off what I've been through and what I've experienced, but also what you guys can do to avoid these habits and avoid these obstacles. We all are learning and healing, and like I said last video, healing is not linear. Self-love is not linear. If you guys have not watched episode 3, which is self-love, please check out that and come back to this video. Come back to this podcast, might I add. Just a little update of how I've been. I've been okay. I have been going through the motions of I have been going through the stages of emotions: anger, frustration, sadness, doubts, disappointment. If I'm just being so real with you guys, and that's just me being upfront, honestly. And me being 22, I'm still learning how to cope with it and how to channel it. And I've learned based off my results that I'm capable of channeling it in my work. And it's easier for me to channel my emotions through my work and just going and grinding from there. You know what I mean? So honestly, we're going to get straight into this episode. And this episode is something that I've been dying to talk about. Okay. This episode is about relationships and friendships. Okay. Y'all know how relationships and friendships can go. You know what I'm saying? It can be up, it can be down, it can be very healthy, it can be beneficial. I don't know if you guys grew up how I grew up with knowing the saying that people are in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And that was something that didn't really stick with me growing up. I always heard it, but I never really understood it, and obviously me being older now, I'm able to fully digest the meaning behind that. And for those who don't understand, it's pretty self-explanatory, but me being who I am too, it's hard for me to fully understand things. So I like things being broken down. I'm such a explain it type of person. You know what I mean? So people are in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. If there is somebody that you come across in your life that you can't put in the category of a reason, there's a reason they're in your life. That reason being teaching you a lesson. They're teaching you something that can help you grow as a person, evolve as a person. It can be something that may negatively impact you, but within that negativity that is impacting you, there's a lesson that can be learned from it, and with that comes a lot of baggage. Of course, it comes with things that you may not think you're able to digest, things that you may not be able to handle, but God has a way of putting things in our life where we learn it and we know how to move forward in the future when we come across another person who may interact like this or act like this, or another friendship who has these ups and downs, these hardships. You know what I'm saying? And that was something I struggled with a lot. I always was put in a perspective, or there was this repetitive cycle of me feeling like I'm coming across a lot of reasons. Where is my seasons, my lifetime people going to come? You know what I mean? And even with people being in your life for a reason, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, all of those have a lesson. You're learning something from it. You're gaining something from it. Regardless if it feels like a loss, you're still gaining something from having these 3 in your life. And everybody's going to come across the 3. There's not one person I can name who haven't came across somebody who was in their life for a reason, who is in their life for a lifetime, or who's in their life for a season. And that's something that I learned growing up, and I've been able to digest it a lot better now, and I'm still working on learning it and accepting it type of thing. But that doesn't take away the fact that it's still hard to deal with. That I'm pretty sure anybody can agree with that. Thank you. And that's something that's I feel like that's something that's going to be the core of this whole episode. Just keeping that in mind while we talk about everything when it comes between relationships and friendships. When it comes to reciprocity, that's a big one that people don't know how to do. Reciprocity, controversial topics when it comes to friendships, and setting healthy boundaries, and learning to not ignore red flags, but also admire and point out those who have green flags. Acknowledging to never change yourself for anyone's satisfaction or approval. That's something I dealt with and was hard to learn coming across the people that I've came across in my life, So with that, we're gonna get right into it, y'all. This is about to be a little juicy. Thank you. The first one I want to talk about is reciprocation. Right? Reciprocation is something that is needed within everything. Your friendships, your family, your work, your worth ethic, everything that comes into your life, I feel like caters to reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? And me, that's something I take so seriously. Reciprocity is such an important factor that sometimes people can overlook and have a habit of pouring into other people's cup and jar before they pour into others. You're pouring so much of yourself into somebody else's cup, but are they doing the same for you? Are they bending over backwards for you, Stink? And if you have to hesitate on this answer, then most likely reciprocity does not play a big role in your friendships and relationships. And I'm not going to sit here and be that friend and say that it's okay, because it's not. It's not okay, Stink. It's not. We have a habit of being so caught up in what ifs and love, and we get so distracted and blindsided by thinking like, you know what? I love this person so much. I care about this person so much, but are they reciprocating that energy back to me? I feel like I'm very big on what I put out, I should receive. But with that is kind of a factor. You know what I mean? Because at the same time of saying that and admitting that comes to admitting and knowing that you can't always expect yourself in people. People have different ways of showing up in your life and how you're going to show up in theirs. And that's okay. Sometimes we need reassurance. Sometimes we need clarity in knowing that, okay, you're not showing up in how I would normally show up, but tell me and express to me how you show up for me. So I know this is your intention, and I know that it's not from a place where I feel kind of like short-handed. Like this is, I feel a shortcoming from this. Like I'm putting out more than I'm receiving. That is an awful feeling. The amount of relationships and friendships I have been in where I have been putting out a lot more than I've been receiving, and I was neglectful. I ignored it. I paid it. Ignorance is bliss, and it can be a positive thing and a negative thing, y'all. Please remember that. It can be such a positive thing, and it can be a negative thing. Ignorance is bliss can be a positive in a sense. It's not even really a positive, like a key. Like y'all see all these lights on in y'all car, right? You like, you know what? I'm gonna pay it until I get paid, and I'll get that oil change. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't say a positive, but it's like, why stress myself out more over things I can't control? Ignorance is bliss when it comes to play when you can't control it. When you're like, you know what, I want to go to this concert really, really bad, but I don't have the funds for it. So I'm going to pretend and ignore the fact that everybody's going to these concerts and I'm getting FOMO. Right? I'm sure there's people out there who feel the same about the Beyonce concert. Thank you. Ignorance is bliss. Get that shit off my feed. Thank you. But it can also have a negative impact as well. Whereas you think of it, for an example, I show up for a friend at a party, and I go to their party, and I'm celebrating with them. I'm bringing them gifts and a cake, and really doing the one, the big one, making sure they feel seen and making sure they feel noticed. But come my birthday, and you don't show up, or you show up 20 minutes late, or you don't bring anything. Not saying you're entitled to bring a gift, but your presence is enough for me as it is. So for that present as of you being the present, and you show up an hour late, or you don't really keep people's time in consideration, considering it's like, I showed up for your birthday, so the bare minimum you can do is show up for mine, and they don't do that. And you're like, you know what? I'm just going to ignore that and just pay it. No, ignorance isn't bliss when it comes to your emotions and it comes to your mental state. That's actually going to fuck you up in the long run. You're doing yourself what's the word? A dissatisfaction. Is that the right word? Am I saying it right, guys? You're not catering to yourself. You're not putting yourself first. You're allowing these people to not hold you at the same light that you hold them, and sometimes that can fuck you up too. I've came across my few where I've done that, and that can also be something that's risky. I hold all my friends at a very high light, but that's based off their actions. That's based off how they treated me and made me feel seen. I feel like I'm in an era right now, you guys, where I want everybody I love and cherish and care for to feel seen and valued and loved, because that's how I want to be. That's how I want to feel. I want to feel that way. And when I come across those people who don't make me feel that way, it affects me really bad, you guys. It affects me really bad. It hurts me. It kills my spirit. And I'm one of those people where if you send me a very rude text message, or I find out something, I find out a lie, or any of them, or any of the such, I'm not a person who can sweep it under the rug. I'm like, you know what? Well, I'm going to marinate on that. And it's not something that I'm intentionally meaning to do, but it's like I held you at such a high light and I care about you so much, where it comes to a point where I find out that you lied or you did something just maliciously, and I have to take that in. It hurts me. And I'm take off my grind. My schedule's thrown off. I'm not going to the gym. Now I'm bed rotting because you're not showing up for me how I showed up for you. And that's where reciprocity comes into play. That's where it comes into play, you guys. Do not do that to yourself. Do not fuck yourself over. Do not sit here and allow anybody to disrespect you and treat you like you are not the prize. And that goes for anything. That goes for anything. That goes for, you could send out a good morning text. And if that's not reciprocated, take that shit back. You understand me? It is a privilege to talk to you, just like it's a privilege for you to talk to them. But always remember, you guys, that privilege can always be taken. Always, always. You have the power to do that. And that's where the comfort comes into play with that. Knowing that whenever your energy is not reciprocated back to you, you can take that back. You can take that power back. Do not allow any person to take that power away from you. Ever. Ever. Y'all can tell I'm a little passionate about this one, y'all, because I got some stuff to get off my chest. But I'm going to keep it cute. I'm going to keep it classy. But I don't want you guys to ever feel how I ever felt. I don't want you guys to ever feel or go through what I went through. I don't want you guys having to seek out answers and not know where to go for certain situations, and you just have to just play it by ear. I played it by ear too many times in my life, and I've put my foot down. I choose me. I choose me. I choose my peace. I choose what I deserve. And a lot of people in this world we're in right now, y'all, they do not deserve us. They don't. They don't. We are the prize. Everybody that's listening to this podcast right now, you are the prize, Buki. Don't let nobody tilt your fucking crown. Don't let that shit fall. Because I had my shit fall multiple times. I had it shattered. I had it taken. I refuse to allow anybody to have that much power or control over me. I refuse. Because it hurts. It hurts. Love. It's a very touchy topic. Love needs to be reciprocated. And people show love and express love in completely different manners. And that's okay. We all don't express love exactly to the T like anybody else. But there's a way to express it to make sure they feel it. And the way that they express it to you, they want to make sure you feel it too. If you don't feel loved by somebody you have in your life, and that's friendships, that's relationships, it's not even something that has to be said, but it needs to be felt. You can say you love me all you want, but are your actions showing me that? You just told me you love me, but you cheated on me. How can I believe you to have such these pure intentions of love if you can do something so malicious? Where does that put me? That blurs my vision of love. That puts this perspective that is this what love is? Is this how I'm supposed to feel when it comes to love? That person doesn't love you. They don't respect you. A person who don't respect you don't love you. Always remember that. Always remember that. You can say you love me all you want, or are your actions showing me that? You can say you love me, you want to be with me, but are your text messages showing me that? Are you showing up for me like that? Are you making me feel seen and valued and special and unique and loved? You can say you care about me 24/7, but are you checking on me? Are you asking me? Checking on me, in my opinion, y'all, is not just, are you good? You chilling? No, 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 no. Checking on me is asking me where I am mentally. One thing about me, I'm gonna put you guys on game. One thing about me, with every single nigga I've been with, I made sure and I stayed stern on making sure I express that, hey, I want to feel seen. So I really would prefer for you to ask me how I am doing mentally. It can be a random conversation. I could be playing the game and we've been on the phone for hours. We could be on the phone for hours and we haven't said one word. And you sit here and you ask me, hey, like, how are you doing mentally? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how are you? How are you feeling? That makes me feel seen. That makes me feel heard. That gives me the space to express what I feel like I might be bottling in. But you opened the door and you gave me the stage to express that. So I feel seen. I feel loved. A lot of people lack that ability to reciprocate what they receive. But at the end of the day, with that, you guys, some people just don't deserve it. That's a hard truth for a lot of us to admit, that sometimes the people that we love the most and we want to love the most and adore and cherish the most, they don't deserve it. They never did. And they prove that to you, but yet you still choose to ignore it. Yet you know how much love you have for them. You know how much respect you have for them, but do they have that for you? You rather sit in something miserable because you're afraid of being alone. Is that something you're willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your peace and your love and your happiness, your self-love, your qualities for the bare minimum from somebody else, another nigga, another woman? No. 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 Because at that point, you don't care about yourself. You rather sit through pain than sit through peace. And that's not something I want for any of you guys, because I've done it. I've done it multiple times. I've done it in all of my relationships, honestly. I sat and hurt because I loved and cared about them and cherished them as people, and that was never reciprocated until I left. And that's where I get upset about, you guys, with relationships. People have a habit of expressing their love and their gratitude for you once you leave. Once you call it quits and you cut that cord, that's when you want to express your love. But no, 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 baby. Pump your brakes. You should have been showed me this. You should have been expressed this to me. You should have been made me feel seen. You should have been made me feel valued. But it takes for me to be on my last heart, my last little 1-2, for you to admit that you've done wrong and you didn't make me feel valued and seen. I don't want to hear that shit no more. God forbid anybody else you meet, God forbid you put them through what you put me through. You know? And that shit hurts, y'all. Healing is not linear. Healing does not happen over time, or healing doesn't happen overnight. And with that is where I come into play. And like, I don't want to set back my healing stage anymore. I don't want a relationship, you guys. I've came across you know the saying, you got to kiss a couple frogs to kiss a prince. I'm tired of the frogs. I'm tired of the bull frogs, the stank frogs, the blue frogs, the red frogs. I'm tired of all of them. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all need to be locked in cages. Honestly, go back to the forest. I'm tired of searching for love, and I'm tired of giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's where I'm at right now. You know, that's why I know this topic is a little touchy for me, because it's filled with a lot of emotion, but at the same time, I feel like now is the best time to express this, so you guys I don't want you guys going through what I went through at all. So I'm here to make this podcast not only to put my voice out there and reach an audience, but I want to reach the audience who is afraid of falling, who's afraid of healing, who's who wants to know keys to what to do in relationships and friendships and what to pay attention to, you know? Truthfully, truthfully, within friendships as well. You know, I've been going all on about relationships, but this can also happen in friendships, you know? And friendships hurt me a lot more personally when it comes to falling out because you're my friend. You know, I care about you. I value you as a person. And you would never assume somebody who's your friend would ever do you wrong. I bet every single person you have in you guys' life right now, you would never assume, or anybody that you fell out with in the past, you would have never thought or batted an eye and thinking that, you know what, I don't see myself falling out with this person because you opened the door and showed me good qualities. But remember this, you guys, sometimes people put on a facade and make it look like that they have good qualities, and those true colors come out, Bookie. Mm-hmm. It comes out. It shows, and that's when it hurts the most. But you got to stand 10 toes on what you believe in, your values, and your morals. And that goes for friendships, relationships, and family. Mm-hmm. Clock it. Thank you. It goes for all of it. And I feel like sometimes friendships can be a little controversial, you know. And one thing that I had to learn, and we're gonna tie both of these topics together. Let's just say that. One thing that I know I truly had to learn was setting boundaries. I never knew how to set boundaries. You know, you don't know anybody from 6 months. You can't get to know fully somebody in 6 months, in a year. Damn, you barely know somebody in 2 years. To this day, I've been best friends with Isaiah for almost 5 years, and we still find out so much about each other. What hurts us, what bothers us, what we love, what we adore, how we show up in friendships, our past. We find out more about each other every single day, which is why I always find it so insane. And me and him always talk about this, and I'm sure you guys can agree. I always find it so insane when people rush and jump into relationships. Now, kind of biased for me to even say that because that's what I used to do, but I had to do that in order to know not to do that. You know, so I'm trying to talk to those who haven't done that. Don't do it, you guys. He might seem like the man of your life. You guys are going together. Oh my gosh, we've been talking for 3 months, 6 months, and you might think things are beautiful and tea, but 6 months is not enough time to fully know anybody. Maybe not even a fourth. Honestly, y'all. Honestly. The amount of men I've came across where I thought I truly knew them as people just based off our communicating. I thought we were open and brutally honest. And that was never the case. People show their true colors when they're vulnerable. I know I do. But the thing about me and a lot of the men I came across, my vulnerability is my truth. I'm a very vulnerable person. I always honest and straightforward, and my emotion is my truth. You can sense everything through me from my emotion because I'm so emotionally intelligent. I'm so in tune with myself, and I'm able to express and communicate when I feel unseen or when I'm mad or just sad or angry or stressed. You're going to see all those traits in me unintentionally because I'm a genuine person. And it's hard to come across a lot of genuine people in this world, unfortunately, which is why sometimes I have my guard up. I have a wall up. You know, I'm getting out the habit of painting everybody or every nigga to be just ain't shit. You know, sometimes it's toxic to have that mindset. You know, we all work through it. I know I got them, man. I get to a point where I'm just like, you know what? I've came across a lot. Like I said earlier, I came across a lot of you frogs, and you frog ass niggas are all the same. But there's somebody out there who isn't like that. We just haven't met them. Shit, maybe you have. Maybe you walk past them and you wouldn't even know. But you got to come across these frogs to know what you tolerate, what your boundaries are, what you tolerate and accept. And when you do come across that person, you'll be ready. Truly. Setting boundaries is so important, you guys. I can't stress it enough. Setting boundaries is so important because it's a way of showing respect for yourself. You respect yourself. If you set boundaries, you respect yourself. You allow people to walk over you, you don't respect yourself. You set boundaries because you believe that you're worthy of respect. We all are worthy of respect. I know I goddamn am. You need to set healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries can come in so many different forms. If you feel like somebody is doing too much for you, like, hey, I need time to myself. Always make time for yourself, you guys. It's okay to say no. And that's another big thing about healthy boundaries. Say no, y'all. God damn it. Say no. Say it. It's okay. It's not selfish, girl. And if it is, so the damn what? I'm quick to say no. And that's something I struggled with before. I was always afraid of saying no because of how I was perceived. But like if you're really my friend and you care about me, if you're in a relationship with me and you can't respect the fact that I said no, you don't have respect for me, period. Truthfully, honestly. Healthy boundaries is a very important thing to do in this society. Setting boundaries, and not only boundaries for yourself, but boundaries within them too. Don't be one-sided, y'all. Yes, set your boundaries as well, but also know somebody else's boundaries and come to a common ground of, okay, I do this, I move like this, I prefer doing this, I prefer doing that. Where can we meet in the middle so we feel like we're both showing up for each other? If those are not conversations you have, your relationship or your friendship is going to fall apart, Buki. I hate to tell you. Truthfully, I've been there. I'm telling you. You don't want to do that to yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself. You don't want to do that to yourself. It's not going to be worth it. It's not. It's not. You're going to put yourself in this cycle of feeling like that over and over again, and truthfully, it's not going to be worth it. You know. And I had to learn that. I had to accept that and really fall out with a lot of people, so I know moving forward I can set boundaries. It's always important. It's always important. It's always important. It's always important. Setting healthy boundaries is 100% a green flag. Now, one thing I want you guys not to do is ignore red flags. You guys don't want to do that. Do not ignore red flags. If something is not sitting right with your spirit, please. And one thing about it, this is kind of a hard topic too, because a lot of people don't believe that they should trust their gut or trust their instinct. But one thing about me, I trust it every time. And it sounds dramatic, it sounds cocky, but 9 out of 10, I'm usually right. My gut, my instinct is usually right. I know when somebody's doing wrong. I know when somebody's doing me wrong. I don't overthink it. I am a chronic overthinker. If anybody else is in here that is a chronic overthinker, you are same, babe, because I am too. It's not a negative thing sometimes, though. I kind of see overthinking as protecting yourself. It's okay. It's a safe space. I have a habit of putting multiple scenarios in my head about any situation, but it's like, I'm doing this for a reason. If you were somebody that I truly trusted and knew you had good intentions, I wouldn't be overthinking this. I wouldn't be overthinking me dancing if I wasn't afraid of messing up all the scenarios that could happen, but it's because I'm trying to protect myself. But it can have its negative perks and its positive perks as well, And that's something I had to learn. Ignoring red flags can come in so many different forms, you guys. And I had to work on it. And I'm going to point them out to you guys so you guys don't ignore it. If there's something that somebody is doing or saying, and let's say it's relationships, niggas lie. Niggas lie. And niggas love lying and covering with the truth. Like, oh, no, I was just playing. No, that wasn't really a play conversation. Why did you lie? Don't set yourself up, you guys. Do not set yourself up. Do not ignore it. Do not pay it, because those red flags start to add up and that shit stands tall. Who's going to pull that flag down? You're going to have to climb that pole and pull that flag down because you allow them flags to rack up over time. Instead, when you nip that one flag in the butt, you're like, you know what? This isn't really healthy. I don't think this is good, because if you can lie about little things, you can lie about anything. Lying is a red flag. You not receiving reciprocation is a red flag. Raising your voice or raising their voice at you is a red flag. There's so many different forms of red flags, you guys, and a lot of people just pay it. I could be talking to my homegirls and she's pointing out so many things that she's saying wrong. I'm like, you're running this by me for a reason, because you see the wrong in it. But sometimes we're afraid to admit the red flags in people because we want them. We care about them. But all in all, essentially, it's like, you're ignoring these red flags, but you're hurting yourself in the process. Why do that to yourself? Why? That's going to hurt you, friend. That's going to truly hurt you. And I don't want that for you, Buki. I don't want that for you. It's going to hurt. Red flags is, there's a lot of red flags. I can go on and on about red flags, you guys, but I want to make sure I'm talking about things that are common that we all ignore and not just off of experience, because I can go on about experiences with me ignoring red flags. You know, I can go on. I can go on. Red flags is lying. Red flags is covering a lie with a lie. Red flags is not having respect for you. Red flags is not allowing you or making you feel heard. Red flags is cutting you off while you're talking. Red flags is not giving you the space to express yourself whenever something does go wrong. Red flags is somebody who cuts off a conversation midway. Red flags is somebody who say agree to disagree. And let's touch that topic, you guys. Agree to disagree. I really do not fuck with that saying. Agreeing to disagree is basically just, how can I word it? Just like invalidating my opinion. You are choosing to not see how I'm feeling. So instead, you're going to take the agree to disagree route because you don't feel like actually seeing it from my perspective. And that is disrespectful. That is not respectful at all towards me. You don't respect me. We don't have to see eye to eye, but we can come to a common ground of understanding how you feel and how I feel. It's not right. I hate that. I hate that. Disagreements are not arguments. And I feel like a lot of people get that confused. Disagreements are not arguments. You're projecting it as an argument, so you're choosing to agree to disagree, and that is a flaw on you. That ain't got shit to do with me. There's people in this world, you guys, who actively do not know how to communicate. And it sucks to think that we have to come across such people, but sometimes it's okay to tell people about themselves, y'all. I do it all the time. Y'all. I tell everybody about themselves. And I say that in a sense of, I'm not going to say everybody like I be telling my best friends about themselves. But it's like when I come across somebody who feel like they do no wrong or feel like, they don't see wrongs in what they're doing and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you about yourself. I have a huge habit, y'all, of telling somebody what nobody has told you before. But I'm going to be real. I'm going to be honest. And that's one thing I can say is a flaw within me. I have a habit, and this is something I've stopped doing, and I don't want you guys doing it too. And, comment below or text me if you guys have dealt with this as well. I have a huge habit of racking up on flaws or racking up on little red flags into somebody. And I'm just going to put all of that on you and reveal it to you, because sometimes people can be a little stubborn, like my family or my mom, have told me that, but I kind of just ignored it. You ignored your mom telling you that you fall short in friendships and relationships. You decided to ignore that. You decided to ignore from the 5 people who told you that you are disrespectful whenever you get mad, and you just think it's just a coinky dink. No, or they're telling you the truth, babe. So it's like, I kind of be nipping things like that. And I might say it subtly. I might be like, hey, you don't think that there's like a slight truth behind it? Oh, no, I don't think so. Period. So I'm going to have to be the one to tell you, because I'm not going to tell you unless you do that to me, And if I could talk to my younger self, you guys, I would truly just be like, if I was able to express and tell them so much of what I've been through and give them the knowledge that I know now, I would tell him to please do not ignore red flags. No matter how fine they are, how good they are at communicating the first day, first couple of months, please don't ignore the red flags, because those red flags are the ones you need to pay attention to the most. Hello. You need to. I've came across a couple of areas of mine where I would alter myself for other people, other men, might add. I will alter myself. I will put in my mind that, I'm not funny enough like them. I need to do this. I need to act like this. Or if I don't do this, they're not going to like me or do this. Or maybe I need to dial down my personality because they're nonchalant and not too much. Pump the goddamn brakes. One thing I want to end this podcast with saying is do not change yourself for anybody. Do not change yourself for anybody's satisfaction or approval. Okay, you are perfect the way you are. You are put on this earth to make an impact and make a difference. You are not put on this earth to be like the next bitch. Period. 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 If somebody points out to you, I don't really like the way you da da da, then maybe you're not meant to be my friend. Now, obviously, if it's from a negative point, like, you're doing something toxic or negative, then, it doesn't take much to hear it or listen. But if it's as simple as, I don't like the way you dress, you need to change that, then, baby, we're not friends. We're not friends. You don't care about me. You don't respect me. Because if you did respect me, you wouldn't say something as so small-minded as that. You wouldn't tell me to change anything about myself because you love and accept me for who I am, flaws and goddamn all. And that's one thing I've learned about myself. I'm not going to change myself for anybody. I admire so much about myself. I admire all my traits about myself, and I'm not going to let anybody let me change that image that I planted and built for myself. We all have our differences, but that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us stand out. Why would I want to be like the next bitch? Why would I want to be a follower? That might work for you, but it don't work for me. You might dress like that, and I fuck with how you dress, but I dress like this because this is me. This is who I am. This is how I express myself. So who are you to tell me how to be? I would never tell you that. So for somebody to even think they have that comfortability to even tell you or give you a comment on you need to be like this, you need to work out like this, you need to eat like this, who are you? Savannah, slow down. Savannah, slow down. Okay. Out of respect, I would prefer for you not to tell me. Now, suggesting is fine. Like, oh, like you should really get into modeling or acting. Like, that's cute. Or like, oh my gosh, like you should wear your hair like this. There's so many positive ways of expressing it, and there's so many negative ways of expressing it. You see how I just said, oh my gosh, like you should wear your hair like this, da da da, or you really like your hair like that, you should wear it a different way. Like, I don't think that eats on you. That's you. That's you. I'm not changing myself because of your opinion. Because that means I gotta change myself for any other bitch that tells me the exact same thing. Or any other thing. Why would I change myself, my satisfaction that I have and confidence I have for myself for your approval? And that applies in relationships. If a man is telling you you need to wear this and dress like that, you can go to the deepest pivots of hell. Personally, oh, I don't really like your hair like that, you should cut it off. Then I don't like this relationship. So, what now? So, like, what are we gonna do from this? What are we gonna do with that? Don't allow no person, don't allow anybody to tell you how to be yourself. Don't allow anybody to alter who you are as a person because you are perfect exactly the way you are. I got my flaws. I got my little things I got of myself. Now, would I ever reveal that? No. But I got my little ones too. We all have our insecurities here and there. You know? And with that, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace in those situations. And don't feel bad. Sometimes people have a different image painted of you than you have of yourself, but always prioritize your painting, Buki. You're the one going to the museum, not them. You matter, Stink. You're important. You're seen. And anybody who don't make you feel seen or make you feel like you're not enough, cut that shit off. And that can be friendships too. Friendships can be a little passive sometimes. Don't allow anything of that to get to that point. Promise me that, y'all. Promise me that. This one was a very touchy topic for me, and I had to get it off my chest, or it was going to eat me up alive tonight. So I needed to express this to you guys. But I hope this I hope this message touches the right person, because we all deserve love and we all deserve to be seen. I know I do. And I always love ending my episodes with a little positivity. And I'm always remind you guys, every episode, you are loved, you are seen, you are valued, you matter, you're unique, you are perfect in this world exactly how you are. We all have our flaws, but embrace your flaws, because your flaws is what makes you makes who you are as a person. It makes you who you are. Embrace them. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in to Siah Chattin podcast, and I shall see you guys next episode. I love you guys.